Shalom, beautiful royal family. Shalom to each and every last one of my beautiful royal family. I missed you guys. I really, really did. And I would love to sit here and say that this is our big triumphant return, but unfortunately it's not. And we will get down to that when the time comes. But I had to come in front of each and every last one of you, just as a reminder to many of our brothers, because right now specifically I'm talking to our brothers, and particularly our brothers of the tribe of Judah. I wanted to make sure that I came in front of all of the family to ask this question. What is wrong with some of you? And what do I mean by that? Because I'm looking at your social media, and apparently a lot of our people forgot that they are even in the truth. And why do I say that? I say that because there are so many of our people who are supposedly supposed to be in this truth. I'm not talking about the 2/3 out there that have no idea. I'm talking about those who presume to be educated about the truth of the Bible. Those who pretend, because that's what this is. You're pretending. And why do I say you're pretending? Because I see people that are defending their presidential candidates that they are going to vote for. Now, we talked about this here a couple of months ago. If you vote for any one of these candidates, you are a traitor to our people. You're a traitor. I'm not going to go over a lesson that we have already done. We already did that, so I'm not going to go and conquer that again. So for those who are unfamiliar with why, just go back and look at the lessons from a couple of months ago. You won't miss it. It's right there. Educate yourself. But I want to go a little further into the education tonight, because there are many that must be reminded about what we should be expecting. Us as Israelites, Black, Hispanic, and Native American people, what we should be expecting when it comes to our candidate, which is Yahushua, who is the running son of the ultimate leader of all, which is the Father in heaven. So what we're going to do here is set the reminder. We're going to read from Jeremiah chapter 31. We're going to read the entire chapter so that everybody can remember and understand what we are doing all of this for. Why you have sacrificed. Why you came out of the world into a life following the Father. Because remember, back then, many of us are so deep into this truth that we forgot why we are even in it. Because this lifestyle has just become so, we've become so used to this lifestyle now that some people are starting to bleed back out into the world. And I don't understand that. That's why we're going to go over this here today, so that nobody will have an excuse. So family, please open your Bibles to the 1611 King James Version Bible with the Apocrypha. Oh, that felt so wonderful to say. It just sucks that we're not saying it every Friday night. We'll talk about that when the time comes. Right now, it's not the time. Jeremiah chapter 31, family. Ooh, goodness gracious. Let's go ahead and read this. And as we read this, I want you to refill your soul. I want you to refill your spirit for why you are doing what you're doing. Because what we're going to do, we're going to take that trip down memory lane so that you can remember why you sacrifice so much. I need to bring that remembrance back to you. because we're starting to lose a lot of our people for stupidity of a presidential election that doesn't even matter to us. But there are people that are starting to believe that it does. So I have a responsibility to remind our people. So let's just go ahead and get into this. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 1. At the same time, saith the Lord, will I be the God of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. So now, wait a second, because I saw some of you that's bleeding back into Christianity. I saw you. I have seen some of you in your little phony selves. I've seen you. So we have to remember that God is for one people and one people only, and those are his Israelites. I'm gonna read this here one more time, just in case if some of you forgot. Let me ruin your day. Let me ruin your Christianity with this statement. At the same time, saith the Lord, will I be the God of all the families of Israel. That's the 12 tribes, Black, Hispanic, and Native American people. We are the ones that make up those tribes, baby. Do you see that? God is not talking about the entire world. He is not talking about everybody across the planet. He said one people and one people only, and that's the Israelites. Verse 2, thus saith the Lord, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I went to cause him to rest. So hold on a second now. It's talking about two different variations of people. It said even Israel. So as we have studied so many times, that sword is coming down and is coming for blood. It's coming for blood, family. It's coming for blood. So what is this talking about right here? That remnant of the people that the Father will have mercy upon, that he's not going to kill on his day of sacrifice. Why? Because we have to have slaves, which is promised to us in Isaiah chapter 14. As a matter of fact, let's go there real quick. Again, this is going to be the remembrance of why you're doing what you're doing. So we have to make sure that all of this adds up. So let's go ahead and go there. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 14. Let's go to verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, which we just read right there. It said even Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, as we just read, family, as we just read, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. That was everyone else before when it said even Israel. So this is stating again what the Bible actually says. This is what you call a precept. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. These people are going to cleave. They're going to cleave. That is the remnant that the Father have left behind to serve you. Is going to say it right here. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Why? Because these two presidential candidates, the non-black woman, I don't give a damn when anyone says that woman is not black. Anybody that's black never has to question whether or not if they're black or not. You understand that? I'm gonna say that again. No nigga has ever in his life ever had to question whether or not if he was a nigga. So that takes care of that. Now with Donald Trump, he is an Edomite. We already know we can't deal with him. But what did this here say? That we're going to possess these people. We are going to possess these people. They will be our slaves. That is what that scripture that we read in Jeremiah 31, that's what it just mentioned. That's what it's talking about. But of course, we can't stop there, because you're going to have some people, well, that's the Old Testament. And let's go to New Testament. Let's go to the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation. You cannot get any more New Testament than the last book of the Bible. Now, let's go to Revelation chapter 13. Let's go down to verse 10. As a matter of fact, go to verse 9. Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. Watch what it says. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So, as we already know, it was those Africans that rounded us up and put us in captivity, so they'll be going into captivity. And who did they sell us to? They sold us to the European nations. They sold us to this white man. And guess what? All of these white people and their descendants, all of them are going into slavery according to the book of Revelation, the book that we're living in right now. I'm going to read it again. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. That's what it says. All right. So now that we have that, let's go right back to the book of Jeremiah, verse 31. Let's read verse 2. Watch this. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Lord. The people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I went to cause him to rest. The Father made it clear. And y'all just read it. Both Old and New Testament. So we're not playing those stupid games with anybody. We're not playing any games. And everybody needs to have their book open. Every last person under the sound of my voice needs to have their Bible open, reading along, just so you can make sure that I am not feeding you a load of nonsense. I'm not feeding you a load of crap. I'm not feeding you no BS. You need to be following along and paying attention to everything that is being said. Verse 3, the Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. So, this is the very same God that we have dealt with in the past, because the Most High is the same yesterday as he is today. Nothing has changed. Nothing. Not him nor his people. We're the very same people all the way back then up until this very day. And as we go through this here, the Father is going to be showing us the conditions. When we draw nigh to him, when we go close to our Father and we love him and we embrace him. And how do we do that? By following his commandments, by keeping his word. That right there says that, Father, I trust you. I put my faith in you. I put all of my faith in you. I don't trust this world. What many of you are doing right now with your candidate selections. Y'all are evil. Every last one of you. Every last one of you that put your faith into a presidential candidate that is not one of ours. You are a traitor to your nation. You are a traitor to God. You're worthless. Absolutely worthless. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care if it makes you burn on the inside. You are a traitor to our people. According to Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15, you are a traitor to your people. And whatever happens to you, good. Verse 4, again, I will build thee. Here's one of them promises that the Father is saying, because remember, we are a destroyed people right now. Listen to what he says. Again, I will build thee, and thou shalt be built, O Virgin of Israel. Thou shalt again be adorned with thy tabrets. That's like, what you call them, to the little thing that you bang that they have in church. The, what do you call it? The little cymbal thing that they have. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm talking about. And shall go forth in the dances of them that make merry. Now, y'all already know you can't stop Black, Hispanic, nor Native American people from dancing. If we are not doing the Charleston, we either doing the merengue. We ain't doing the merengue. They sitting there, they powwowing. You can't stop us from dancing. You can't. None of that stuff mattered before I mentioned those three things, huh? Seems like all of our people have that in common, don't they? Verse 5, thou shalt yet plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria. The planters shall plant and shall eat them as common things. Now remember, in the curses, remember what it said. It said that we will be planting all of these different vineyards, these crops, and we will not eat of them because we did it for our masters. We did it for the people that we are oppressed by. We're still doing it to this very, very day. To this very day, right now. That is our consequence. And many of you think that a presidential candidate is going to resolve you of your problems. You think that they will be able to cure your sin. No, they won't. The only thing that you're doing is making it worse by even aligning yourselves with them. Verse 6. For there shall be a day. Listen to this. For there shall be a day that the watchmen upon the Mount Ephraim shall cry, Arise ye, and let us go up to Mount Zion unto the Lord our God. Now that's Ephraim, who today the world called Puerto Ricans. Please correct me if I'm wrong or not, but at the Trump rally in Madison Square Garden, of all places, just the Hispanic heritage in that building alone. And when I speak of that, we're talking about 1960s and 70s and 80s, WWF at Madison Square Garden. We could just start with Pedro Morales and all of the great Puerto Ricans in that building that made that building what it is today in New York. And they had the nerve to clown the tribe of Ephraim at that Trump rally the way that they did. Remember, as I always told y'all, Judah will get it first and then they're going to come for Ephraim next. Did I or did I not say that? So, I'm one of the very few people that can sit here and talk trash. Because the only thing that people have to do is go back in the library and look to see that I actually said these things. Which is what we'll talk about at another time. We're going to talk about it right now. Verse 7. For thus saith the Lord, sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout among the chief of the nations, publish ye, praise ye, and say, O Lord, save thy people, the remnant of Israel, that 1/3, that the Father said he's going to save, because the 2/3 is going to be destroyed. Everything that we're saying right here in Jeremiah 31, we have brought out, I don't know how many different times. The only thing that this is just serving as the recap for everything that we have talked about. We have said so much, 6 years worth of things. 6 years worth of things that we have discussed. Verse 8. Behold, I will bring them forth from the north country and gather them from the coast of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame, the woman with child, and her that travaileth with child together. A great company shall return thither. Those promises, the wiping away the tears, the promise that for those that keep his commandments, the bliss that we will endure. As you see right here, the Father is saying, dance and sing, which we do just great. Even for those of us that can't sing, we're going to be singing in them streets, dancing, pop locking, doing head turns, everything. Can y'all really imagine on that day what it's going to be like when we see them chariots coming through? I'm telling y'all, this is the greatest day in the world. We're going to watch as those chariots coming through, and we know that they are there for us. There is no music. There is no song that will compare. There is no sound that will ever compare to the complete joy and bliss, the merriment of when our salvation comes. And I need you Israelites to understand what that is. Do not lose yourself in this nonsense called the presidential election. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, family. Don't lose yourself in their lies. You got to get refocused. You got to get refocused to what matters. And what matters is your sacrifice. That is what matters. Don't let anyone tell you any different. You got to remember, when you stand in front of the Father, you stand alone. There is nobody. I'm not going to be standing there with you. I may see you get judged, but I'm not going to be standing there with you when you got to go up to the Father. Nobody's going to be standing with me when I got to step to the Father and face everything that I got to face. So I need y'all to understand. Come back. Come back. Put your spirit back where it belongs, and that is in the sight of the Father. I'm telling y'all, because a lot of y'all went astray. You have. All right, let's continue. Verse 8. Oh, no, excuse me. Verse 9. My bad. My apologies. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way wherein they shall not stumble. For I am the father to Israel. For I am the father to Israel. For I am the father to Israel. And Ephraim is my firstborn. So there is no coincidence why they attacked the Puerto Ricans. You see, those that don't know this book does not know that the tribe of Ephraim are the Puerto Ricans. They have no idea, as these biblical prophecies play out right in front of everybody's face. Right in front. I truly hope y'all are ready. I truly hope y'all are ready for the destruction that's coming. I really hope I did a good job with alerting everybody for these past 6 years. So much I want to say, but I'm not going to right now. Verse 10, hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel will gather him and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock. For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. And the only reason why our enemy is stronger than us, because the Father made it that way. He said, I'm going to have to remove your power here, Israel, and give it to the scum of the earth. I'm going to give it to the Edomites. I'm going to give it to the cave people to rule over you. I'm going to give it to these people that don't like to wash. I'm going to give it to these lice-infested people. I am going to take the muck of human society and put it over you. I'm going to put it over you, gorgeous people. I am going to take you, gorgeous people. I'm going to make you the worst on earth. I am going to make sure that everybody laugh at you. I am going to remove your hair. I'm going to have you put in hair extensions. I am going to emasculate the black man, this king. I am going to emasculate this man. I'm going to make the world laugh at you. The most powerful being to ever walk the soil on this earth. I am going to make you the laughing stock, and I'm going to make your woman just as worse. Did he not do that? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Nobody can deny these scriptures. The Father did those things. And quite frankly, I'm sick of it. And I don't want to live like this anymore. And that is why I'm like, you know what? Our family, we got to stop being stupid. So I had to come back for once. I got to come back. We got to talk. It has to happen. Had to happen. And it's happening. Let's continue. Verse 10, hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel will gather him and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock. For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. And I know we just read that. I want to read it again so that y'all can understand what's being said. Verse 12, therefore they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of the Lord for wheat, and for wine, and for oil, and for the young of the flock and of the herd. And their soul shall be as a watered garden, and they shall not sorrow any more at all. Family, do you understand that promise? No presidential candidate can give that to you. None of them can. Take away our tears, our pain, take away our sorrow. The Father promised all of that to us. The problem is that many of you don't believe it. There is nobody on this planet that can deliver our salvation to us. Nobody. No one. Do you see just how important black votes are in this election? Do y'all realize how important we are not to them? The biggest discussion for black people in this entire election of 2024 is questioning whether or not Kamala Harris is a black woman. That's the involvement. That is how much we matter to them. And so many of you are running and flocking to the poll votes. You're clowns. Any one of you that went and elected and voted for someone, you are an absolute clown. And you should be ashamed of yourself for disrespecting our God, sinning against him. You're a clown. You're an absolute clown, and you are a detriment to our people. Verse 14, and I will satiate the soul of the priest with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping, Rahel weeping, for her children refused to be comforted for her children because they were not. Thus saith the Lord, refrain thy voice from weeping. I'm gonna read that again. Thus saith the Lord, refrain thy voice from weeping and thine eyes from tears, for thy work shall be rewarded, saith the Lord, and they shall come again from the land of the enemy. You see what the Father said? He said, turn them damn tears off. Stop crying. Stop your tears. Stop all that complaining. I'm coming. And there ain't gonna be nobody's gonna be able to stop me. That's the only thing that we need to be waiting on is him. All the things that we mentioned, that we talked about, all these things that anybody under the sound of my voice right now can go back and verify what I said. All of these things. And they're coming to pass. They have come to pass. They have come to pass. And there isn't anything that anybody can say about it. It's true. I said it and it happened. You can sit here and try to call me whatever you want to or talk about I'm full of myself. No, I'm not. I know what I am. There were things that I said in advance and they happened in the future. I know what I am. I know what I am. So if you have a problem with that, you can go away right now. But I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to deny what he has allowed me to see. And I did exactly what I was supposed to do. Bring it to the people. And I don't know how many different times it's been proven, but it has been proven. So that's on you. All right. Verse 15. No, actually 16. We just read that one too. See that? We're ahead of ourselves. I love that. Verse 17. And there is hope in thine end, saith the Lord, that thy children shall come again to their own border. I don't think many of y'all understand what that means. Meaning that we go back home and we can go right there to the shore and have 0% fear. Because the last time they showed up to the shore, we ended up in America, South America, Puerto Rico, Haiti, all the places where we did not belong. We showed up to. So we can go right back to those borders and never be afraid again. That's the time that's coming. That's the bliss that I'm looking forward to. That is something that no presidential candidate can give us. There's only one that is going to give us that salvation. One. Verse 18. I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself thus. Thou hast chastised me, and I was chastised as the bullock, unaccustomed to the yoke. Turn thou me, and I shall be turned, for thou art the Lord my God. So do y'all understand that? The bullock, the bull, meaning, guess what? That bull is not used to being tied down because the bull roams free. We got tied down, the yoke around our neck, our wrist, feet. Slavery. It happened. And guess what? It went from physical to mental. There are many of you that chose to sin because that yoke is on your neck and in here. You cannot see past the nonsense because you feel like it is your responsibility and obligation to do what's right for a country that is not yours. They have you thinking that. You have no idea. For them to get you in that booth means that you are still under their control. You are a slave right here. Right here. Because our Father said don't. But you still went and did it anyway. You were irresponsible in your actions. Not responsible, irresponsible. Because your sin is still holding us back. Verse 19, surely after that I was turned, I repented, and after that I was instructed. I smote upon my thigh, I was ashamed, yea, even confounded, because I did bear the reproach of my youth. Is Ephraim my dear son? Is he a pleasant child? For since I spake against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him, saith the Lord. So the Most High is making it known. I love my children. I gotta whoop them. I gotta beat them. I gotta discipline them. But my children are still my children. That's the part that many people don't get. So many people out there, oh, your God never returned. Get out of here. Your God ain't real. None of that stuff. And some of you believed it. Some of you actually started to believe the nonsense that the earth pushes out against our Father. What is the matter with some of you? Just because the world hasn't seen him yet, you should have no doubt, because you're supposed to feel him right here. You're supposed to feel him inside. That's how I know when people are like, yo, I don't know. I just don't know what's going on. It's like, nigga, because even with me, I'll be the first person to tell you right now, even with me, sometimes I'll be asking, I'm like, why am I doing this? I will ask myself that question sometimes, and then the answer is always right here. The answer is always right here. Just when that doubt starts to set in, because I'm no hypocrite. I'll look y'all in your face and tell you the truth. Yes, there have been times when I have doubted what I'm doing. And what does the Father do? He fills it up right here. Like, yo, son, chill, relax. Keep on going. Keep on going. Because remember, I'm just like all of y'all. I'm no different at all. Let's continue. Verse 21. Set thee up waymarks, make thee high heaps, set thine heart toward the highway, even the way which thou wentest. Turn again, O Virgin of Israel, turn again to these thy cities. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Stop. I don't think you sisters are ready to hear about this one here. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Did the Most High give our sisters some responsibility? You better believe he did. So many, and right now I'm speaking about the women of Judah. Yes, y'all are supposed to be the leaders. Y'all are supposed to be the ones that are leading all the other women of the tribes and showing them how to be the women of God. Showing them. Is that happening? So, let me just read this one more time. Verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? He ain't talking to the brothers there. He's talking to you sisters. How many of you are stuck in your foolish ways? How many of you still will not allow your husband to do what he's supposed to do? Because when he attempts to do the things of the Father, you are still stuck in the world, you backslider, and you want him to do the things that the world wants him to do. You're gonna die. 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 I gotta make sure you sisters understand that, because there's so many brothers that will take it easy on you. No, I'm not going to. You're gonna die. God is gonna kill you. Verse 23. This is just life. This is just real. Verse 23, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, as yet they shall use this speech in the land of Judah and in the cities thereof, when I shall bring again their captivity. The Lord bless thee, O habitation of justice and mountain of holiness, and there shall dwell in Judah itself and in all the cities thereof together husbandmen, and they that go forth with flocks. For I have satiated the weary soul, and I have replenished every sorrowful soul. Upon this I awakened and beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me. I'm not sure how many of you today, like myself, that have to deal with sleep issues, insomnia, not being able to sleep through the night. Our sleep is disturbed. And guess what happens when our sleep is disturbed? Our brain gets disturbed because there's no rest in it. There's no rest in our brain. And so that affects our quality of life every day. All of the signals that they're sending out with 5G and all the rest of these things, it interrupts our sleep. It interrupts our melatonin. The lights that I'm using right now is interrupting my melatonin. LED lights, they emit blue light. Blue light ruins your melatonin. For those of you who are uneducated about that, look it up. Do your research. These LED lights are stripping away your melatonin so that we do not go to sleep. And when we finally fall asleep, it is not a restful sleep. And when we don't get restful sleep, what does that do? It infects our internal organs, and our organs begin to break down faster, leading us closer and faster to death. That's what's happening. And these are for the people that you are voting for, idiots. Stupid. All right, let's continue. Verse 25, for I have satiated the weary soul, and I have replenished every sorrowful soul. Upon this I awakened and beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. Now, most people are going to be like, wait a second, what does that mean? All it means is that we will be in control. All it means is that the house of Judah, remember, the scepter does not leave the house of Judah. We will be the ones that will rule this planet. It doesn't matter what your brain thinks. It doesn't matter what your belief system is. It does not matter. According to the scriptures, every last one of these scriptures up until this very moment have all come to pass, and they are continuing to come to pass. So if all of those things have come to pass, that means that everything else is going to come to pass too. And what does that mean? It means that the black man will be the ruler of this world, baby. That's what it means. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. It does not matter. The black man will lead. I hope y'all are ready, because the world isn't. The world is not ready for that. Let's continue. Verse 28, and it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith the Lord. That's the promise that the Father had. No presidential candidate can do that. Not one. The Father said, I'm going to raise y'all up. I'm going to build y'all back up. And when I do, there will not be anybody that will be able to break you down. That is what the scripture said. This is why Psalms chapter 82 verse 6 is so important. You have to understand what the Father is saying right here. He said, I turned your power off. Your power has been turned off. You are gods on this planet. I removed that from you, but I'm going to turn it back on at the appropriate time. That is why every person that is unfamiliar with Psalms chapter 82, you need to familiarize yourself with that, because there will be some people that will sit there and try to tell you that that's talking about angels. No, it's not. It is talking about the men of Israel. So hard for many of you to understand that, but that's what it's talking about. And the sisters, y'all are gods too. But this is what it's speaking directly in reference to. We will be the ones to rule. And y'all got to understand that. Let's continue. Verse 29. In those days, you see that? It's not talking about then. It's talking about a latter time. In those days, meaning later in the future. In those days, they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge. But every one shall die for his own iniquity. But every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Behold, the days come. You see that? It hasn't happened yet. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Now, this is where most people, they start going crazy. This is where they're like, you see, it's a new covenant. It's a new covenant. No, it's not. Stop it. Stop it. All this is saying is, y'all niggas broke the last one. So let's go ahead and redo this here again. That's all this is saying. Watch as we read. Watch this. Verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husbandman unto them, saith the Lord. Do y'all see that? The Father made it very clear. He's like, you see that? It's the very same one that I'm sitting there that I had with them, and them niggas broke it. They broke it. So now let's revisit. Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. Not the whole world, not the entire planet, the house of Israel. It is exclusive. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. Do you see that? It's about the law. That covenant is about the law. The law, the law, the law. We got to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. That is what we have to do. All the way back then up until this very day today. That is why we wear fringes, to remind us of every last commandment that we have to keep. And I am so sick and tired of people trying to run away from that fact. You cannot run from the fact that we have to keep God's commandments. That is what sets us apart from everybody else on this planet. That is what sets us apart from the filthy, disgusting, stupid ass Christian. They don't keep the commandments. The Bible tells us that we have to keep God's commandments, and that He is going to put that law in our inward parts. That is how you will always know you can separate yourself from this stupid ass dumb Christian, man. How is it that everything in this book says that we have to keep the law, but you have the moronic, stupid ass Christian that will come and say, no, you don't? And guess what? Guess what those Christians got up in their churches? Voting booths. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. Verse 34, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me. You see what the Father's saying? He said, everybody's going to know me. Y'all don't got to worry about that. Everybody's going to know. Why? Because every knee shall bow. Every last knee is going to bow down to the Father. Every last one. From the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord, for I will forgive their iniquity and I will remember their sin no more. And that's talking about every person that is coming to this truth and is keeping the commandments of the Most High God. Verse 35, thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is His name. Do you see the Father being like, y'all gonna put some respect on my name? Where do you think we get that from? Where do you think we get all this trash talking about you gonna know my name? Come on now. We follow after our daddy. We follow right after our daddy. Our name means something to us. Yep. Oh yeah. Those of you who are awake, oh y'all are feeling it. You feel a burn up in here. You feel it. You feel that power coming back. You feel it. And let me tell you something. Don't you ever let it go. Let's continue. Verse 36. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. You see that? So if the sun and the moon and the stars go away, that means that we go away. So as you already see, day after day, night after night, that sun comes up in the same place every day, and it sets in the same place every day. The stars, same rotation every night. The moon, same rotation every period. Can't stop this. All those things are happening. So if all of those things are happening, that means that our rulership is coming as well. And the world is becoming petrified. There is fear gripping this entire planet. Do y'all understand that all of these other nations are opening our book and they are putting their eyes into these scriptures, and they are seeing Uh-oh. That's all they're seeing. They're seeing the uh-oh. These niggas gonna kill us. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Okay, verse 37. Thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundation of the earth search out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. You see the Father, like, come on now. You little puny humans, y'all can measure where I live? Y'all can't even determine whether or not if the earth is flat. Y'all are really trying to come for me? Get out of here. You see how the Father makes it so funny? He shows you just how minuscule we are when we want to think that we're something. When we want to think that there are people that can save us and there are people that can help us. The Father said, y'all niggas are minuscule. You're nothing. All I do is blow my breath on the air. I blow my breath on the face of the earth, and y'all run scared. Verse 38, behold, the days come, because they have not happened yet, saith the Lord, that the city shall be built to the Lord from the tower of Hananeel unto the gate of the corner, and the measuring line shall yet go forth over against it upon the hill Gareb, and shall compass about to Goath, and the whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes, and all the fields unto the brook of Kindred, unto the corner of the horse gate toward the east, shall be holy unto the Lord. It shall not be plucked up nor thrown down anymore forever. Now, those places I just read, are those places occupied by the Israelites? No, which means none of that has happened yet. We have to remember, the Father does not call these things what we call them today. Remember, he does not change. The Father does not change. We do. We change on a constant basis. He doesn't change at all. All of those names and everything are still the names of them places today. We moved into them territories and changed those names. Man did that. God didn't change anything. And he made it clear. It will be us. It will be the black man that will rule this planet. All praises and thanks, honor to the Father. Father, thank you. Many of you are not saying that today. Many of you are not thanking him. Because your black, Hispanic, or Native American ass could have awakened this morning as an Edomite. You could have been anybody else on this planet with absolutely no future. And yet you don't say thank you to the Father. He created you as a God to rule on this planet, and you won't tell him thank you. So many of us deserve to die, and deserve to die horribly. And I mean that. I mean horribly. Let me tell you something. Y'all better stop your foolishness with putting your trust in man. We have a couple of days away before this entire country is turned over on its ear. And we are about to watch all of these fools go crazy. Make sure it's not you.